ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करभावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
पुनरपि जननं पुनरपि मरणं पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम् इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे। रथ्याचपटविरचितकन्तः पुण्याः पुण्यविवर्जितपन्तः योगी योगनियोजितचित्तो रमते बालोन्मत्तवदेव। तस्त्वं कोऽहं सुत आयातः कामे जननी को मे तातः इति परिभावय सर्वमसारं विश्वं त्यक्त्वा स्वप्नविचारम्। त्वयि मयि चान्यत्रैको विष्णुः व्यक्तं कुप्यसि मय्यसहिष्णुः। भवसमचित्तः सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्य चिराद्यति विष्णु त्वम्। शत्रौ मित्रे पुत्रे बन्धौ मा कुरु यत्नं विग्रहसन्धौ। सर्वस्मिन्नपि पश्यात्मानं सर्वश्रोत्रभेदज्ञानम्।
Clarifications. When you lead a dharmic life, you fulfill desires, attain artha kama without disturbing harmony. There is less selfishness, although there isn't gratitude. Okay. Spiritual growth starts with gratitude. Gratitude expressed in action is called karma yoga. In karma yoga, we work towards eliminating our desires. We progressively perform longer hours of nitya naimittika karma. அது நைமித்திக கர்மா இல்லையா? அனித்திய கர்மான்னு ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது இல்லையா? இட் இஸ் நைமித்திக கர்மா. அமித், we no more go to the office to fulfill our desires. So office hours becomes nitya karma and naimittika karma. Work becomes a prayer. We are grateful to our work. We worship our work. Very good. Who said all this? யார் சொன்னாங்க இதெல்லாம்? வெங்கட், யார் சொன்னாங்க இதெல்லாம்? I don't remember saying. Oh, I said. Oh, okay. I said this in the last. See, so many things I'm just saying. Yeah, why vandadu we are saying. Why vandadu we are saying. We just say something and then go away, and we don't expect anybody to take it that seriously and come back with questions and clarification. Now, Amit, very soon you'll also become a very good Vedanta student. Huh? Now you're just beginning, no, properly. It's not new, he has been doing it for 25 years. Yeah. Very soon you will also become like the rest of the great souls here. Yeah, just first one. How do you practically convert work into a prayer and do it without desires? Is it wrong to be goal oriented when on the path of Karma Yoga? If your desires keep decreasing, then will not your productivity performance go down and accomplishments lessen? Question. How do you practically convert work into a prayer and do it without desires? Is it wrong to be goal oriented when on the path of Karma Yoga? If your desires keep decreasing, then will not your productivity performance go down and accomplishments lessen? Answer. In the path of Karma Yoga, the goal is reduction of desires. Again, in the path of Karma Yoga, the goal itself is reduction of desires. How does it all start? Understand it like this. Wanting moksha, the search for moksha is so unique to this country. So no other country in the world ever tries this. Only in this country there is one big madness going on in the name of moksha. And we are also part of that madness. Huh? Yeah, we are also part of the same group only. So unique to India, so unique. And no other search can go higher than this. Why do we say no others? It is so high, so unique, so high, so unique, so great, so extraordinary it is, the search for moksha. Why? Moksha is a search for those who have experienced happiness and success is a deception of misery. Remember this. Those who have understood happiness, success, prosperity is all nothing but a deception of misery. Then only the U-turn happens. As long as the person is believing that there is something more meaningful in fulfilling the desires, that person search doesn't that person has not started karma yoga. You follow what I'm saying? Amit, are you able to follow what I'm saying? Those who have experienced success, those who have experienced prosperity, those who have experienced success, those who have experienced productivity, those who have experienced all these found out one thing. What they found out? What did they find out? Nothing but it is misery. It's a deception of misery. How do you say it's a deception of misery? How do you say success is a deception of misery? How do you say productivity is a deception of misery? How do you say prosperity is a deception of misery? More the success, more the prosperity, more the ego. Are you able to follow? More the success, more the prosperity, more the ego. More the success, more the prosperity, you should have become humble. You should have become humble. You should be able to bow down. You should have become more of a bhakta. But what happens is, more the success, more the prosperity, more the productivity, what goes up? It is the ego that goes up. So that it's the ego that goes up. Number two, we are not able to bow down to the divine because we have already bowed down to we have already bowed down to the prosperity. We have already bowed down to something. Therefore, we are not able to bow down to the divine God. Are you able to follow till now? Moksha is a very bold experiment. Moksha is a very bold search. Moksha is a very bold experiment. Moksha is a very bold search. What is that boldness there? The happiness that we have experienced, the happiness, the prosperity, the success, the peace, all that is a deception of misery. It appears to give you happiness. It appears to make you feel secure. Are you able to follow? It appears to make you feel secure. It appears to make you feel productive. But actually, what happened? You will not attain. You will not attain anything by these practices. Are you okay till now? Why do we say the search for moksha is so unique, so great? Another reason that why this search for moksha, which makes a person turn into karma yoga itself, is what? Whoever has lived this life of little bit of success, prosperity, name, fame, whatever be it, even in a little bit, whoever has had all this, whoever has experienced it, have come to one great understanding, one beautiful understanding, one great understanding that they all come to. What? It's a repetition. It just goes in cycle again and again, and nothing changes. The cycle goes on repeating itself. Which is what we are going to study as Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. We are going to study that. I'm not going into that verse now. You have earned wealth many times. You have earned fame many times. You have achieved success many times. What had happened to you because of all this? Wealth has been achieved, fame has been achieved, name has been achieved, you got the loved ones, you got rid of the hated ones also. You got your loved one, you got your loved ones, you got rid of the hated ones. All this you did. If a person has done all this, what should be the quality of mind of that person? Free, no? But then what do you experience? The same bondage. Are you able to follow? Why? Because it's the wheel. That's why we call it as the samsara is called dushta chakra. Samsara chakra is given an adjective called dushta. Dushta, na, it's a bad thing. Bad means you go through it again and again and again and don't get anywhere. Just as you lived yesterday, you live today. Just as you live today, you are going to live tomorrow. Does it make any sense? The same anger, greed, etc. yesterday, the same anger, greed today, the same anger, greed tomorrow, the same attachment, the same birth, the same death. It is just a repetition. A person who has understood all this, a person who has understood all this. When will you understand all this? That's why knowledge starts by saying there is a myth. This is only to you, not to the rest. This is only to you. This rest of them don't hear this. And to everybody individually, I keep saying this only. To everyone, I keep saying, what? There is a very deep-rooted idiocy in a human being that we are not waking up at all. Very politely, they call it as ignorance. Yeah, very politely, they call it as ignorance. You are all ignorant. Very polite it is. In Bhaja Govindam context, Shankaracharya is not using polite language. He is saying moha mudgara. Mohamudgaram is hammering it. Now, if you have to hammer it, you have to use the right word. Therefore, there is definitely there is some very deep-rooted idiocy in a human being. What is that idiocy? That we are not awakened at all. How many ever times we go through the same thing? How many ever times we go through the same thing? We just don't wake up at all. See, otherwise, how can you go on repeating the same thing again and again and again? Yeah. Understand this law. If we did not attain anything by doing them for million times, how am I thinking that one more time I'm going to get something out of it? It's like trying to milk from the hay, they say. Yeah. It is like trying to extract milk from the dried grass. They have this old proverb here. Yeah. Yeah. புல்லுல இருந்தெல்லாம் பால் கறக்க முடியாது. Yeah, you can't extract milk from the dry grass. Karma yoga, a person gets into. Now, Amit, now answering your question. When will a person get into karma yoga? When will a person get into karma yoga? The person will get into karma yoga if he has understood little bit of these things. In order to understand little bit of these things, you need a relatively calm mind. And how will you get that relatively calm mind? That relatively calm mind will not come from peace and that relatively calm mind, which is peace, is not going to come through prosperity, name, fame, family, etc. That relative peace of mind will come only through one word. At least now you should say that. Dharma. Dharma. It is dharma that gives you the relative. It is dharma that will give you the relative peace. In that relative peace, you are able to, in that relative peace, when you hear all these things, it makes some effect in you. What Mundaka Upanishad calls as Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan. This is the Pariksha. What is the Pariksha? Again and again and again I have gone through this. No change has happened in me qualitatively. Deterioration seems to happen because my ego goes on increasing. How do you know that ego goes on increasing? I can never bow down. Can never go down. No. People tell me that before coming to Vedanta, I had a lot of devotion. Sir, now all my devotion is gone. Before coming to Vedanta, bhakti was there. After coming to Vedanta, bhakti went away. I said, you never had bhakti in the first place. You think you had bhakti, but that's not bhakti. If you have really had some bhakti, the study of Vedanta will only make it more and more penetrative, more deeper. Why it will make more, how it will make penetrative and deeper? Because your ego goes on reducing. The negative way of saying is the ego goes on reducing. The positive way of saying it is namaskara. The positive, that's why in this culture we have namaskara. Are you able to follow? We do namaskara, no? Namaskara means whoever I meet, I prostrate. Why do I have to prostrate? Whoever I meet, why do I have to prostrate? Chapter 11. Whoever I meet, I have to prostrate. Why? Divine in that nama rupa. Divine in that nama rupa. Divine in that nama rupa. Are you able to follow? Therefore, it is all the more important to a dharmic life will give you the clarity to understand this, and then the person takes a U-turn. What is the U-turn of Karma Yoga? Not objectively fulfilling the desires. Karma Yoga is
eradication.
Yeah. You want to eradicate your desire, but right now you can only reduce the intensity. Ultimately, you want to eradicate it, but right now you can only reduce the intensity. Therefore, you do Karma Yoga to reduce the intensity. Once the intensity of the desire is reduced, desiring, all that we have studied already. Desires means desiring. Once that comes down, once that is thinned out, you are available for the next level of study, reflection, etc. Are you able to follow, Amit? Therefore, in Karma Yoga, your prosperity, your productivity, all that will not drop down. You will have the capacity to become more prosperous. You will have the capacity to become more prosperous, but that capacity you will redirect it for Loka Sangraha. Remember that. You have the capacity to do, you have the capacity to do extraordinary work, but that extraordinary work capacity, what will you redirect it to? You will redirect it to Loka Sangraha. Are you able to follow? Therefore, through Loka Sangraha, the person is aiming at thinning the desire. When the person is aiming at thinning the desire, he need not worry about fulfilling the desires. The desires are waiting. Desire means object of desires. Desire means object of desires here. Amit. Hrishchate Lakshmischa Patnyau. Purusha Suktam. One of the most, at least a few Vedic prayers that we should know is Purusha Suktam. Yeah. Rudram Chamakam we should know. Minimum idalla. Yeah. Like Kavilya Upanishad said, Shatarudriya. Chant this Rudra 100 times, you will attain moksha, it said. Yeah. Shatarudriya. That Rudram is one beautiful Vedic prayer. But நாங்கெல்லாம் ருத்ரம் சொல்ல மாட்டோமே வைகுண்ட ஏகாதேசியில் அப்புறம் என்ன செய்ய நாங்களாம் ஐயங்கார் சார் சொல்ல மாட்டோம் கேட்கவே மாட்டோம் நாங்கள் அதெல்லாம் புருஷ சுத்தம் இல்லையா ஹிரீஷ்யதே லக்ஷ்மீஷ்ச பத்னியோ விஷ்ணு இஸ் so what a beautiful hymn that Purusha Suktam is. Hrisyate Lakshmi. It means the object of your desires are always available to you. But you turn your back. Why do you turn your back? Why do you turn your back? Because so many times in the past you fell for that and lost the plot. So many times in the past you fell for it and you lost it. And if you lose it, you have to start all over again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi. Why will this person want to do that? Therefore, what is Karma Yoga? A U-turn the person takes. What is the U-turn? The capacity to become productive is there. Dynamic action is possible, but all that is directed towards something more meaningful. What is it directed towards something more meaningful? You act for the welfare of the society. Loka Sangra. You follow, Amit? Because at the dharmic level itself, you have gotten everything. At the dharmic level itself, you have gotten the wealth, you have gotten everything. And then relatively, you have understood there is nothing in it. Not that you have experienced there is nothing in it. In the dharmic state, there is the purity of mind. For knowledge to receive, you must have some purity. That's why teaching is always done not after 40, 50. Why? Because the purity is lost. Teaching is always done at 5. Why teaching always starts at the age of 5? There is a natural innocence and purity. Where there is a natural innocence and purity, absorption becomes, understanding, absorption become possible. As you grow, as you age, as we go on aging, what goes out? That innocence goes out. The purity goes out. What is the indication of innocence and purity goes out? Samshayam. Anything and everything doubt. Anything and everything. I think maybe, oh God, that's Samshayam, I tell you. Samshayatma pranashyati. Bhagavad Gita. Samshayatma pranashyati. Therefore, that dharma will bring that innocence back. Dharma will bring that purity back. When dharma brings that innocence and purity back, you will be able to understand what they are saying better. This is answering the first clarification. Second clarification. to reconfirm. When someone is dharmically pursuing Artha Kama, does it mean they are still at the level of fulfilling desires, not at the Karma Yoga stage of eradicating desires? Yes. Therefore, not spiritual as yet. This conclusion is Kutarka conclusion, Ulta conclusion. Yeah. All the steps you will say rightly, conclusion only becomes wrong. What is he saying? When someone is dharmically pursuing Artha Kama, does it mean they are still at the level of fulfilling their desires? Yes. Not at the Karma Yoga stage of eradicating desires? Yes. Conclusion. And therefore, not spiritual as yet? Wrong. Are you able to follow? How do we say that? Dharma is the first indicator of you turning spiritual. Are you able to follow? Dharma is the first indicator that you are turning spiritual. Therefore, you cannot say therefore you cannot say it is adharmic. You are still spiritual only. But then there are in the grades of spirituality, you are in the beginning, you can say, but you can't say unspiritual, because adharma is the only state of being unspiritual. Next clarification. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaja Govindam படிக்கிறோம். Why go to Bhagavad Gita? When Krishna instructed Arjuna to fight, did Arjuna end up fighting by following the path of Dharma or the path of Karma Yoga and thereby work towards eliminating his desires and working towards achieving moksha? How so? Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna instructed Arjuna to fight, did Arjuna end up fighting by following the path of Dharma or Karma Yoga? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was trying Arjuna to come to the path of Karma Yoga. Krishna was trying Arjuna to come to the path of Karma Yoga, and to some extent, Arjuna followed the principle of Karma Yoga and fought. I am saying to some extent, not he's not a complete Karma Yogi still. Are you able to follow? Why he is not yet a complete Karma Yogi? Because the goal was still kingdom. The goal was still kingdom. Therefore, predominantly dharmic and little bit of Karma Yoga. So, was Arjuna dharmic or a Karma Yogi? In the proportion, I will say dharmic. Karma Yoga less. Even though there is a shade of everything in him, you can see a shade of Karma Yoga in him. You can see a shade of Dharma in him. But predominantly, who is he? Arjuna, dharmic. Are you able to follow? Arjuna is predominantly dharmic because he was talking as though he wants to eliminate desires. Amit. All his questions was about this is Arjuna and us are at the same level now. All our questions will be about sannyasa, moksha, isn't it? All our questions is about sannyasa, moksha, eliminating. None of the question will be about dharma. Yeah, no questions will be asked about dharma. So Arjuna was asking questions about, even though he was talking as though it is about sannyasa and moksha. Arjuna, go back and do swadharma karma properly first. You are not even fulfilling your swadharma karma properly. Yeah. That's why nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sadaha ubayorapi drishtavantaha tunayoho tattvadarshibhihi. He said all that. Verse number 16, 17. Sat, asat. The highest knowledge that a person can be taught is taught. But then Arjuna had no clue to what is happening. Therefore, immediately he will boil down to what? Verse number 31. He started by discussing Swadharma. He started by discussing Swadharma. So dharma, la first indication in Swadharma is the dharma. Whatever be it, we are not going to that. I'm not going into those details now. So was Arjuna? Arjuna was asking questions about becoming sannyasi and running away from everything, whereby he is not yet, mature to live that kind of a life. He is not qualified to live that kind of a life. Therefore, what Krishna did, he brought it down. Because he was asking about the highest, 20 verses he spoke about the highest. After that, he started his confusion. What is the confusion? Moksha is the best, but go back to dharma. Moksha is the best, go back to dharma. If moksha is the best, why are you asking me to go back to dharma? Moksha is the best, but you have to qualify to come there. No. Without qualification, you can't. Without qualification, you can't come there. And what is the qualification? Dharma is the qualification. Looking at your own nature, Arjuna, looking at your swadharma, don't you know that? You are talking like one. Yeah, you are talking like one great person, but don't you even know that you should not run away from your swadharma karma? The fact that you want to run away from your swadharma karma itself is an indication that you have not yet become fully dharmic, etc. Therefore, go back, go back, go back. But if I am there, you are insulting that. No. Okay, I go back to Swadharma, but then the next verse, but then in the next verse, you will ridicule, you will insult, you will do everything, and then tell me you are stuck here. And then when I come up, you will say, go back. Why are you poking at me like that? That is Arjuna's problem. Are you able to follow? This is all the students' problem in the initial stages. But then Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, the attempt is you lift him up to Karma Yoga, he will come to at least Dharmic. You will lift him up to Karma Yoga, he can become Dharmic. Now we are lifting Dharma itself. Why? Because we are highlighting Dharma itself so much. Why? Because Adharma is that much. Are you able to understand the sequence? Adharma is next clarification. I am sure you explained the various types of karmas. Amit, don't be sure. A million times it has been repeated. And we will repeat it and we will repeat million times again. I am sure you explained the various types of karmas. I was not there for that class. Thank God you are not there. And I'm not sure which video of yours to watch to find the answer. Could you please briefly go over the various types of karmas and their meanings? For example, what is Nishiddha karma, Kamya karma, etc. Okay. For the sake of Amit, quickly, the karmas are divided into 5. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma, Prayaschitta karma. Karmas are divided into 5. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma. Nitya Naimittika is combined into 1. Now there are 5. That's dilute and then group it up. Don't keep at 5 separate. Group it up because those 5 again can be grouped. So Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma, Prayaschitta karma. 5 types of karmas. Nitya Naimittika karma again get grouped into 1. When Nitya Naimittika karma get grouped into 1, we will simply call it as karma. Do karma, niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jahyokya akarmanaha. So whenever the word karma is used, what is meant in that word karma? Nitya Naimittika karma. Not action. Action, which is my obligation. And what is your obligation? Your Swadharma karma is your obligation. What is your obligation? Taking care of the father, mother, family, paying taxes. இதெல்லாம் obligation. இதெல்லாம் secondary obligation. The primary obligation is follow your swadharma karma. So nitya naimitika karma means, so whenever we say karma means it is nitya naimitika karma. Then comes kamya karma. Kamya means actions you do for fulfilling your desires. Actions you do for fulfilling your desires. And then the fourth one, nishiddha karma, prohibited actions. Nishiddha karma means actions that are prohibited. Now, kamya karma, nishiddha karma overlaps a lot. Kamya karma, nishiddha karma will overlap a lot. Where does it overlap? How does it overlap? Kamya karma. I have a kamya means desire. I have a desire for a car. Take that example. I have a desire for a car. What is the easiest way to get the car? What is the easiest way to get the car? Steal. That's all. So many cars are there on the road. சும்மா தூக்கின்னு வந்துருங்க அவ்வளவுதான். Steal. You got the car. Straight away you got the car, isn't it? Straight away you get it. That is the most nishiddha karma it is. Even though you fulfill that, you want to fulfill the desire, don't. Nishiddha karma that is. Yeah. No, sir, I will not steal, but one more thing I will do. Aparna, what did you say? Loan. Nishiddha karma. Don't steal. Okay. But loan I can take, no, sir. Because by taking loan, I'm helping the society, economy to grow, no? So taking loan becomes loka sangraha now, isn't it? Because only by taking loans, economy will grow. Therefore, I need to borrow. Yeah. First one is steal. Nishiddha karma it is. To fulfill your desires, don't steal. Second, don't borrow to fulfill your desires. Moonavathu, beg. Please give me that. I want it so much. I can't be without it. Can I borrow it for one day? Follow? The easiest way, nishiddha karma, the nishiddha way of fulfilling the desires in the common sense way, in the English language, they call as beg, borrow, steal. Yeah. Naranji, next time when Innova comes, it will not come back. Yeah, I will not borrow. So next time if it comes, it will not come back only. Because to fulfill the desires, nishiddha karma. Are you able to follow? What is the nishiddha way of doing it? Beg, borrow, steal. Don't do that. Then what is the other way? I know. Okay, what is it? If I have to have the car, let us say I need 10 lakhs. In order to save 10 lakhs will take me 2 years. For I am able to control my desires for that 2 years till I get that money and buy. That is dharma. Are you able to follow now? So fulfilling your desires become dharmic that way. Why? Because you are able to hold your desires for a period of time. Another example, nishiddha karma. Holiday now, pay later. Yeah, holiday now, pay later. Yeah. Everybody wants to go on a holiday in January, and flights don't take off at all in January because so foggy. Why even go on a holiday at that time? But everybody will book at that time only, and they will fight at the airport. Nothing happens. Are you able to follow? Nishiddha karma it is. So nishiddha karma means the ways in which the desire should not be fulfilled. Why do we say it is nishiddha? What is the theorem behind nishiddha? Fulfillment of desires is supposed to give you some amount of happiness, but the method that you have chosen gives you so much of misery that even the little bit of happiness that the fulfillment of desire gives you, you will not be able to enjoy that. That's why nishiddha karma. Are you able to follow? Nitya karma, naimittika karma, kamya karma, nishiddha karma. to go on a holiday with the family is kamya karma. It's not it's not a terrorist activity to go on a holiday with the family. No. Same karma can be dharmic or the same karma can be nishiddha, even though kamya karma. So at the level of kamya karma, there is a fork. Either I can take the path of the nishiddha aspect or I can take the path of the dharma aspect. Then comes the fifth one, prayaschitta karma. What does prayaschitta karma means? You know that you have done something. You know that you have done something which you ought not to do. You know something. You know you did it, and you have realized that you ought not to have done that. What do you do for that? I see the compensation. You go and pay the compensation. Yeah. What is the compensation? Whatever be that compensation. When we go to the 17th, 18th chapter, this prayaschitta karma and all, we will discuss a lot. In the 17th, 18th, we will discuss a lot of these because there the verses themselves talk about it and we get a lot of scope because the specific words will come there. That's why I'm not going into that now. But as of now, Amit, to give you the formula of all the 5, Nitya karma, Nitya naimittika karma. What is Nitya naimittika karma now? Nitya naimittika karma means karma. Karma means actions that ought to be done. For that action that ought to be done and avoid kamya aspect of the action, are you able to follow? To avoid kamya aspect of the action, what you should have when you see, like, for, okay, to put it very simply, if you live a dharmic way of fulfilling the desires, what happens? There is the peace. Always we talk about peace coming. That's a very superficial thing that it is. The dharmic way of living brings about gratitude in samriddhi. Sampat, the sampat of gratitude. When you say the sampat of gratitude, it means the wealth of gratitude that you have will be so high, so high. Combination of dharma is the combination of peace and gratitude. That peace and gratitude is that innocence, that clarity with which you can absorb everything of the Shastras that says, and you can take a U-turn. Are you able to follow? Therefore, the 5 karmas, Nitya naimittika karma, Kamya karma, Nishiddha karma, and Prayaschitta karma. In every class, in some context, we will be talking about all this. So keep listening. You will get to know. Keep listening. You will get to know all this. Is there anything with Amit? Last one. An adharmic person cannot make an attempt to eradicate desires. Instead, he will be fulfilling the desires in the field that is meant to eradicate the desires. Please explain what you mean by the field and the statement as a whole.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து படிக்க.
Okay. Oh, no, I read it wrongly. Okay. Oh, another question before we take up that. Yes.
At the materialistic level, you told that fulfillment of desires, which is kamya karma, can be done dharmically or adharmically. So you gave the example of car. It can be beg, borrow, steal, or you earn and. So the same thing with reference to relationship and emotion. Can you give one example?
Complicated, irritating question. Not to me. I love to answer that, but listeners will get irritated. Yeah. Irritating question, irritating answer to the listener. Question is, material level, you gave the example of Nitya naimittika car. What is at the level of the emotion? One example. What is it at the level of the emotions? One example. Emotion means relationship. Both are same. Example. At the relationship level, what is Nishiddha karma at the relationship level? What is Nishiddha karma at the relationship level? Use and throw. Use the person and throw the person. Use the person and throw the person. Use and throw. Are you able to follow? Use the person and then throw the person again. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? Nishiddha karma in relationship is use and throw. Use because I need the person for some happiness. Once having gotten that, throw that person away. So Nishiddha karma in terms of relationship is use and throw. Just simply no botheration at all. A tamasic state of existence where I can just when I use the person, I play with the emotion of the person to use that person. I become wicked manipulator. Carefully follow. When I want to use that person, relationship doesn't happen straight away. Relationship happens through lot of, okay, take the example of boy and girl. What amount of wickedness happens between them? What amount of manipulation happens amongst the two to develop that love, so-called love? Are you able to follow? He will find out what that person likes and do that. Manipulation, no, it is. Isn't it manipulation? Do that which the other person likes so that that person can love me. But sir, this is how love happens, no? This is how adharma happens, not love. Are you able to follow? This is how adharma happens. In order to make the person love me, I find out what all weaknesses of that person is. Find the weakness of the person and touch there. That person will start giving me what I want. After that, once I get what I want, what will I do? Yeah, use and through. Are you able to follow? How Nishiddha karma happens in relationships? Any more example you want? Anybody? Any more? Yeah, I pay busunu poiduchu illaya. It looks like so. No, sir. Enough. Nishiddha karma. Nishiddha aspect of the relationship is to always want to control the other. Control is the factor for relationship. As long as you are under my control, I have a relationship with you. The moment you go out of my control, I have nothing to do with you. Are you able to follow? Control. Manipulation. Control. Yeah, that manipulation is suffocating. That control is suffocating. Are you able to follow? If you want to be in a relationship with me, you must be under my control. What is under my control means? I decide everything. You simply say, yes, 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 yes. Get up. Yes. Sit down. Yes. Go out. Yes. Where did you go? Somewhere I went. How can you go so far? Stand outside the door only. Because anytime if I call, you should come in. Another phone. Ring. I always say that because the other is calling, you don't have to answer. That person's privilege is to call you. Your privilege is to answer. That is the problem. Yeah, something. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? These are all Nishiddha way of dealing with relationships. Because of this Nishiddha karma, because of the Nishiddha way of handling emotions and relationships, everybody wants to, everybody ends up cheating. Everybody ends up cheating. Why everybody end up cheating? I want my privacy. Now, what does it mean? I want my private space, sir. What is private space? As though somebody has, who has taken up your private space? Somebody has taken up your space mentally. How they took up your space mentally? By always wanting to be the controlling factor. Are you able to follow? Using the weakness of the other to wanting to control the. Are you able to follow? These are all Nishida ways of dealing with relationships. Are you able to follow? Think about it. It's very, very interesting. Yes.
The Nishida way is use and throw and controlling. But what is the dharmic way of that?
What is the dharmic way now? What is the dharmic way now? I have received. I have received. Now that I have received, what I will do in return? I will serve the person back. Irrespective of the other side that I start seeing in the other, irrespective of the other side that I start seeing in the other, I start serving the other. So dharmic way of relationship is what? Being grateful to the other. That's why Rina Siddhanta. Dharma always starts with Rina Siddhanta. Rina Siddhanta means the gratitude. Are you able to follow? So what is the dharmic way? Be grateful. Be grateful. And the gratitude, you must have it in abundance that it will flow itself in action. Are you able to follow? So what is the dharmic way? Always remember this. Never ask what is dharmic way. Ask what all are adharmic and avoid that. Again, I repeat. Never ask what is dharmic. Always ask what is adharmic and go on avoiding it, eliminating it. By go on eliminating and avoiding adharma, where will you land up in dharma? Are you able to follow? So, predominantly avoid the other. Nishiddhakar. So, what is the positive way of handling relationships? Gratitude. Only one. Dharma, only one. What? Gratitude. Gratitude. That's all. There is no multiple ways of dharma. The dharma in relation boils down to only one word. What? Gratitude. Gratitude automatically will bring about in humility. Gratitude and humility and all will go together. You cannot be grateful, arrogant person. Are you able to follow? Why? Because gratitude means you know that you have received so many and you are still receiving and you are dependent. You can never be arrogant after that. That's how humility, gratitude and all, one automatically develops the rest. But what is the starting point? Gratitude is the starting.
In the materialistic example, I was able to understand the desire. For example, you gave car. In the emotional example, what is the desire?
Desire is I need the other. I want the other. Emotional. I need the other. I want the other. Desire. Same desire. Just as I want the car, I want the desire is the same. Emotion. It's the same desire. In relation to object, it is easy to understand. When it comes to beings, it's a more complicated. Are you able to follow? But nevertheless, it is the desire of wanting that person. Because I feel my happiness lies in the car. I feel my happiness lies in that person. Desire means what? What is the meaning of desire? I feel my happiness lies in the car. Similarly, emotion. I feel my happiness is lying in that person. Because I feel my happiness lies in that person, beg, borrow, steal. To object. In relation to human beings, not beg, borrow, steal. In relation to emotions, what are the two things I said? Control, and then use and throw. Manipulate. Manipulate and control. Manipulation and control. Manipulation and control is the Nishiddha way. What is manipulation? Find out what that person likes. Find out what that person likes. Find out what that person likes. And do that. Why? Because only if you do what that person likes, that person immediately becomes your slave. Because you have created a dependency on the, I tell you, the wickedness and the manipulation that goes on in the name of emotions. Sickening it is, but that's how it goes now. What to do? Are you able to follow? Manipulation and control. Manipulation and control. Manipulation to make the person a slave. Control to keep the person, to keep the slavery permanent. Where is the problem? Manipulate first to make the person slave, and then having made that person a slave, next level, how to keep the slavery permanent. There is a complication. All this is because of adharma. This is adharma. Why do you call it as adharma? Because you want it, you are ready to do anything for it. That's called adharma. Fulfill your desires at. But sir, I also do something in return, no? No? The moment you start accounting what you have done to the other, adharma has entered. Because the person of gratitude will never account what I have done. The person of gratitude will say, what more I need to do? He will never ever turn back and say, this much I have also done, sir. I have also done something in return. So we lived life on equal terms, give and take. There's no taking at all. Only giving. Dharma starts there. Only giving. No taking. Yes. Next clarification. Are you okay? Yes. I was so tempted to go into so many other things, but too much today. Yeah. Little bit of pain for each and every class. Little bit of pain is in. Too much one. What do you say?
I think, sir.
Correct. Yes.
Get over my dependence.
Yes.
And to get established in only giving whatever. Am I supposed to practice this gratitude for janmas, whether I like it or not, the serving those 2-3 in the office and serving those 2-3 at home. That's all I have to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Question. Should I continue serving the 2-3 at home? Ignore them. The 2-3 are useless. Ignore the 2-3 at home. Next. Take the beating. Ignore the 2-3 at home. I'm giving you the answer. Ignore the 2-3 at home. They are useless. The 3 in your house is what? Useless, huh? Okay. You both heard that, no?
Yeah.
Correct. I didn't say that. Yeah. Because the whole family is there. Therefore, I'm saying the 2-3 in the family. Gratitude never sits on you as a burden. Therefore, the mind will never ask about when will it stop. Are you able to follow? Gratitude means it will not sit on you as a burden. Gratitude is so relieving it is. Yeah, gratitude is so relieving. Yeah. Fresh air. How long will I want fresh air? How long will I want to have? Gratitude is like the fresh air. You follow what I'm saying? How long will you have the fresh air? Eternally. Therefore, how long should I serve? Eternally I will I will serve. I don't because gratitude doesn't sit on me as a burden. Gratitude sit on me as fresh air. Thankfulness it is. Thankfulness can never be a burden. Thankfulness can never be a burden. That's why the person of gratitude can go on and on and on, which is misunderstood completely. Are you able to follow? People say love makes a person go on and on and on. No, love will not make a person go on and on and on. It will die down at some point of time. Gratitude will make a person go on and on and on. And what comes out of gratitude is devotion. The devotion will go on and on and on. Are you able to follow that? You follow? Venkat. Some Bhajagovindam also we will do today. We will cut off Amit at this point and we'll continue with Amit episode. Amit episode next week we will continue. Yeah. Some Bhajagovindam also we will do. Saumitra, correct? No. We'll do some Bhajagovindam also we will do. Not that what we spoke is not Bhajagovindam, but it's getting too painful. So Shankaracharya will give us some. Yeah. Some relief he will give. And we'll take that relief for Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadita, Ganga Jalalava, Kanika Pita, Sagradapi Yera Murari Samarcha, Kriyate Tasya Yamena, Na Charcha. Yama Goda Sarcha Gadayat. No fight with Yama. What is fighting with Yama means? See, what is fighting with Yama means? Who dies? One who's frightened dies. Always remember this. One who has fear will die. Will stop. The law. One who has fear will die. And it is the fear that brings in Yama. It is the fear that kills. It is the fear that kills. The egoist will die. The egoist will have charcha with Yama all the time. Or will follow. Who will have charcha with Yama all the time? The egoist will have charcha with Yama because it is the egoist. So he's so afraid of letting go of the ego. Yama will take him from one body and put him in another body. Yama will take him from one body and put that person in. Yama will take a person from one body and put the person in. Yama will take the person from one body and put the person in another. Though who dies? Those who fear are the one who dies. Have you ever observed that we always use death as an excuse to get what we want? That's how children terrorize their parents. You know that? You know how children terrorize their parents? So in case if they do something bad, sir. In case if they do something bad, what bad will they do? What bad will they do that they are talking about? Suicide. These people will constantly have charcha with, this person will have constantly charcha with Yama. Yama means One who has fear will have problem with. One who has ego will have problem with Yama. If you don't have ego, you have no problem with Yama. Because you understand what? You understand what? The body will deteriorate. The memory will deteriorate. Carefully remember, body will deteriorate. Memory will deteriorate. Karmas are not deteriorating. Imagine when the memory goes, the karmic effect also goes of what I have done. How nice life would be, isn't it? Dementia, Alzheimer's, I lose everything. In dementia, Alzheimer's, I mean, you don't have all that yet, no? Yeah. Dementia, Alzheimer's, I lose everything. Yeah, I forget my family, I forget my wealth, I forget everything. Similarly, if karmic effect also gets eradicated like that, how nice it will be. All this gets wiped out, but one thing will remain. Yeah, nalla. It will be very much alive, waiting. What? The consequences of your actions. Yama means the consequences of your action will come to you, even though you may lose everything of what you have cherished now. You have cherished the wealth now, you lose it. Lose it means the memory of it.